Hey, good morning, everybody. I hope your day is going swell to all those finishing college this week, whether you're studying for your finals or, doing your finals or graduating. Congrats. Good luck. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. So the live action Sonic the Hedgehog movie trailer went live this morning. As I was getting up from the bed, I'm looking on my Twitter on my phone, and everyone's exploding. I was like, oh, here it is. It's here, isn't it? And yeah, here we are. It's here. So we're going to spend some time talking about it. Not terribly long because I don't feel it's worth doing like a 30 to 45-minute analytical video over something that I thought I wasn't gonna, find much joy out of in the first place. But yeah, here we are. And I should preface that saying that at the end of the day, I know that Sonic the Hedgehog movie, or just Sonic the Hedgehog in general, this thing is designed for kids. I am approaching 32 years of age this July, and this movie's not meant for me. It's just not. I'm not the demographic anymore. Even though I would like something like this to cater to like fans of all ages, it's probably not going to be the case. It's primarily a children's film, so I guess at the end of the day, take my word for it with a grain of salt, because who cares what I have to say? I don't think the movie producers or the studios or Paramount Pictures, for that record, give a shit about what I have to say about the Sonic the Hedgehog film. That said, I do have a few things to say about it, and we're gonna start with the negatives because I feel ending with the positives will be a refreshing change of pace for Sonic the Hedgehog for this channel specifically. So, we should probably start with the biggest one, and it's Sonic himself. Now, not so much the whole model, because in motion, I thought it looked just fine. They got the speed down. He seems to be radiating a blue energy, so I don't know if he's radioactive or they're just really trying to rip off the Flash without it being too much like Flash. This one's blue, Flash is red. Okay, whatever. It's different enough, I guess. And in motion, Sonic looks fine. When he's blasting off on the road and he goes into a sonic boom, that looks great. When he jumps out of the truck and goes into a spin dash to knock that car off the road, that looks great. It's when he stops. When he stops and we get close up of his face. Holy fuck, that face. This is not a good design for Sonic's face. It is mind-boggling how expressive this model is not. Because it's the eyes. It's the eyes, it's the mouth, his teeth. Oh, those teeth. The nose is huge. There's not much going with this facial model, and you can see it in like the scenes where he meets with James Marsden's character. I don't know if they have a name already, and they're in the shed. They exchange looks. They scream. Sonic's mouth is open, but if you were like to mute that, could you tell he was screaming? Could you tell he was just going ah? Because there's little expression in that. You can't tell if he's terrified, he's overjoyed, he's, I don't know what you call that. It's not good. That's my point. And that is just not a good look for Sonic. The rest of the body is fine, I think, especially in motion, but that in itself, just no, it's not. This has all the feelings of a Sonic the Hedgehog movie that would be made in the 90s, but I don't mean that in a good way, because most video game adaptations of the 90s are not very good. I'll defend Mortal Kombat, the first one, but that still has its problems. Mario Brothers speaks for itself. Street Fighter. Now I love that in a cheesy way. I love Raul Julia as Bison, but it's often not considered a great film at all. You know what I'm getting at. This feels like this movie was made during that time, and it just, we bring in Sonic the Hedgehog, but everything else is just very generic looking world, very generic settings, plot details. It just, I don't know, it just looks very standard. Gangster's Paradise doesn't work for the trailer. I have no idea why the hell they chose this song for this trailer besides its 90s. I guess that, but it feels like that's the only reason why that song was picked. And it feels very slapdashed in. I don't have anything much to say about that, but it feels slapdashed and kind of distracting and doesn't serve the movie's purpose. All right, so just go to Wikipedia and look at the synopsis of Gangster's Paradise, and you tell me how this exactly fits in Sonic the Hedgehog. Coolio begins by reflecting on his life in a biblical fashion, that his partaking in hoodlum activities has drained him of hope and his damaged relationship with his mother. However, the narrative turns at this point with Coolio threatening rival gangs with certain death in the event that they take verbal liberties or transgress into his territory. Something about power, money, murder. Yeah, that's totally Sonic the Hedgehog. No, it's not. It's really not. Another weird detail that I noticed is that in a sequence where Sonic is running down a skyscraper, it looks like, to save James Marsden and the other girl. I don't know who this other girl. Actually, I should probably look her up. Hold on. Tiki Sumter. I don't know who that is. I don't. Maybe I've seen her before. I don't immediately recognize her. But he's saving them off a skyscraper. He throws a ring, and the ring teleports them to a different area. So he's like, he's got Doctor Strange powers. Maybe they're calling back to the special ring from Sonic 1, where it teleported you to a different dimension. It's kind of an odd use of that trope, or just an odd callback in general. But I did find that a little weird, because so this Sonic is not only so fast that he can, it looks like he can just stop time. Well, there's a sequence at the end where all these missiles are pinpointed at him and they're just not moving. And he can just do whatever the hell he wants, because he is that fast that time just goes at a standstill. And it's like, nothing's going to stop this dude if you got that. And he has teleportation powers on top of that. Holy shit. This guy's going to be near unstoppable. How does the government, or how does Eggman even stand a chance against that? But if we're going to start going into the positives now, well, I guess positive, because I only have one. I mean, besides the fact that Sonic looks good in motion and, the special effects and all that, and that's cool. But Jim Carrey as Dr. Eggman, when he was originally announced for the role, my immediate reaction was like, okay, it's not the first one I would think of. Then again, I don't know who the hell I would cast as Dr. Eggman, live action Dr. Eggman at that. Because you got Mike Pollock for years acting as the voice, but would you cast him as the live action role, or would you go somebody? If I had to choose someone else other than Mike Pollock, if you couldn't get him, who else would you choose? I'm drawing a blank. So Jim Carrey. I've been a fan of this dude since the early 90s. Like, I've been with this dude. I have the faintest memories of In Living Color. And at some points in this trailer, I'm kind of reminded of his In Living Color days, without like his head tweaks and all that sort of thing. Like, it's the overactive, the over hyper Jim Carrey kind of peaks throughout this trailer, and I'm fine with that. In fact, Jim Carrey is looking to be the best part of this film, and I mean that in a totally endearing way, because that's who he is. Like, when it comes to like a children's film, or just designed for a younger demographic, Jim Carrey is really good at selling that kind of physical humor. And if that's all this movie has going for it, I can at least enjoy those bits, because I mean, obviously we're all going to see this movie in the theaters when it comes out. Let's not kid ourselves. And when I do, you can look forward to that review podcast when it comes out, probably the weekend over or the week after, who knows. But heading to the theater, I know that I at least have a over-the-top Jim Carrey performance to look for, then I'm all right with that. And that said, it looks like it's Jim Carrey just being Jim Carrey, only now he has, like, a military outfit. He's got that curly mustache. He's got the goggles. I do like that little tease at the end where he looks like a more traditional Eggman. He lost his hair. He's got a way bushier mustache, and he's got the goggles. That looks pretty good. Got a feeling that shot of Jim Carrey's Eggman is like the end of the film that kind of like teases into a second film where it's like, I don't know, something between Sonic and Eggman's gonna happen, where Eggman falls into a vat of chemicals and he comes out the joke. No, I'm kidding. No, so I got a feeling that something's gonna happen between those two, and the movie's gonna end with him looking like that, and it's like a tease to the next film. So we may not see we may not see that design a whole lot in the end of this film. But for what we have beforehand, like with the hair, the red jacket, it looks fine. I think honest to God, it looks fine. If as far as adaptations go, yeah, it could be better, sure. Could he have put on a few pounds, sure. But whatever. It looks just fine. I feel Dr. Eggman is not just about, obviously, the round figure. I know he's called Eggman, but I feel there's also more about personality and just his expressions and his expressive attitude, his character language, basically his body language. I feel that's also just as important. And if you're going to get someone to do that sort of thing, then Jim Carrey, I think, is perfect for that. Everything surrounding Jim Carrey, though, again, this kind of goes into the okay, it's average sort of territory, because his contraptions, they're like the definition of bland. Like there are no egg bots here, there are no egg pawns or any sort of colorful creations. This might change when he like loses his hair and gets a bushier mustache. Like he might start getting more artistic with his designs on. Like he's finally let loose. Yeah, I'm gonna make a ladybug. I'm gonna make a giant bee. Right now, it is very Sonic 06 with these mechs, very Terminator with these designs, very generic, all coming from some assembly line with little to no personality, and that sucks in that regard. But this could be just the beginning of Eggman's battle with the dude, and then by the end of it, we will have Motobugs, Buzz Bombers, Kiki with a little monkey that throws bombs. We might be seeing that, if not at the end of the film, then definitely by the next one, if this movie does well enough to get a sequel. Who knows? It's definitely going to be making a lot of money, but for the wrong reasons. Yeah, that's all I can really say about it, because the movie, just judging from the trailer, which it's not always the smartest thing to do, but from what I've seen in these 2.5 minutes, the movie looks perfectly average. And that's kind of the kind of trailers that bum me out the most, because there's not much to say about them. I got my low points. I've already mentioned them. Sonic's facial design, it just doesn't. It's just not a good looking Sonic. I'm sorry to say. Like, it's a good looking Sonic in motion when you can barely see the fucker, but everything else, it's like it does not work for me. Jim Carrey's Eggman looks to be the high point, and that's it. Like, I'm not looking forward to the plot. I don't really care about the human characters. I don't really care about the set pieces going against the mechs and all that sort of thing. It doesn't leave me wanting. It doesn't leave me disgusted, but it just leaves me be. So there is not much I can say else. That 30 other reaction videos have probably already said. So yeah, I guess I'll see you guys when the movie comes out later this year, and then we'll get a review podcast going, and that should be interesting. Obviously, I don't want the movie to suck. I don't want the movie to do bad, because whatever. Sonic's, if you follow this channel for years, this. Sonic's had it rough for a long time, and this movie bombing won't do anything for his reputation in the general public, and the Sonic really needs something like that right now. We had something good going. With Sonic Mania, damn it, and I don't know. I hope the movie is okay. Like, I hope this trailer is actually not indicative to the film's whole quality, although it looks like it might be, and that's probably my biggest fear. But well, we're going to call it a wrap for tonight. Thank you. Oh, tonight, it's still the morning at the time of this recording. But thank you all for tuning in. I will catch you guys next time. Have a good day, everybody.